Kia ora, my name's Kaleb Anderson. You can find me on Instagram at Adventuring Kiwi, and I'm an outdoor adventure photographer based in Wanaka, New Zealand. And we're going to have a look inside my camera bag and have a chat about a few things that I like to take on my adventures. I just fully booted it. Okay guys, let's get into what's inside my camera bag. Batteries, very important. I like to keep these organized inside a easy case, which is also great for flying. The biggest, most obvious lens in my backpack is this 70-200 2.8 telephoto lens. It's amazing for punching out into the background and bringing those mountain scenes close, especially if I'm shooting with a subject that's nearby and I want to bring all the sort of landscape that's in the distance and really like bring that to life in that. But I do have to weigh up sometimes if I'm going to need it because it is quite heavy, so that is a consideration. Another lens that I've used for years, and this is a little bit beat up just because I use it so much. It's a 24mm prime with an aperture of 1.4. This is perfect for just the live on the body lens if I'm doing any climbing or activity that needs just a really wide angle shot, just where I need that wide aperture so that I can get enough light into the body to keep those clean, nice images. Similar to this, but slightly different. I have my 85 1.4 prime, and this is a perfect B-roll lens, especially for when I'm hybrid shooting, run and gun video. It's just really got some lovely depth of field there, lovely bokeh, and I can really hone in on a little detail and sort of bring it to life in a way to help tell those stories. Next up, I have the 16-35. This is the f4 version, but it's in what I'd call an ultra wide angle lens. I would use this for where I just need to fit the entire scene into the photo and nothing else that I've got in my bag is wide enough and I just want to capture it all. This is where this lens is perfect. Another use that's really common for me is if I'm inside a vehicle or a helicopter, and it just means that I've got a lot of room on the outside edges of that frame to play with, and then it means I can really focus in on the main subject without worrying that some of it's going to escape the frame when I need the whole focus to be sort of present inside that image. The last lens that I carry in my sort of arsenal here is just a basic 35mm prime. The reason I carry this is one, it's small and light. I can take anywhere. If I'm going out hiking somewhere for days on end, this weighs basically nothing for me. And I like to describe 35mm as it's not excellent at anything, but it's great at everything, or good enough at everything that I could shoot an entire shoot with just this lens and I would be able to deliver it in the way that I'd like without having to compromise too much. So that's sort of my backup. If something goes wrong or I drop a camera or I smash something, I can pull this out and I can continue the shoot and the show goes on. And then finally, I've got the workhorse here. So this is my Canon R5. Amazing camera for what I use it for. And I have a little half cage on this in case I do want to run it a bit more like a rigged up video purpose camera. Another massive part of what I like about my camera is definitely the ergonomics. It had a really good palm swell, you know, like the feeling in your hand when you're holding something that's solid. I think so much of when I was running around the world, like jumping on different buses and trains and doing a lot of that real travel photography and climbing mountains and stuff, it's just really important for me to be able to operate my camera with one hand, you know, and I find that I can really easily do that. Like even now, like I can have a really positive grip with those fingers. And once you lock that sort of back of your hand over it, like I can fully control and stabilize and use it to get the shot that I need while my other hand is being used for something else, whether it's climbing, rappelling, holding another backpack. If I'm quickly carrying something and I want to see a shot, I can quickly pull it up. And the lens that pretty much lives on this body, if I'm not using anything more purpose specific that you've already seen in my bag here, is the Canon 24-70 2.8 L series lens. The 2.8 aperture really means that it's extremely versatile. I can use it when it's fairly dark and just crank that ISO a little bit to make the shots usable. And 24-70 being such a versatile focal length, I can shoot right on that wide 24mm and really punch in if I want to get those details with the 70mm. So I've talked about my backup lens, but I have a backup body as well, because if for whatever reason something goes wrong or I drop my camera, I still need to be able to shoot. And I carry a Canon R6 Mark II, which I find packs a punch for what it is. It's lightweight, so I don't mind carrying it as a second body. Especially for climbing, I like to have it with a little capture clip base plate mounted there, so I can have it hooked on my shoulder strap and easily accessible. And yeah, I just find that for that real hybrid photo video mode, it's just so nice having that switch at the top now. It's a real game changer. And or even just as a B camera, it's just lightweight and nice to be able to move around with the R5. It pairs really nicely. Why I have more lenses than bodies is because, well, I find the bodies are the essential part to capturing that image and recording it and putting it on the memory card that you're eventually going to edit and deliver. The lenses are what really changes the look of those images that your camera's capturing. So while you need the camera to capture the image, the lenses are really what shape that image and that scene, and it's important to be able to choose a lens and a focal length that really match the subject and match what you're trying to show with that photo. But if I was just choosing one or two lenses, I'd also be happy with that. And I'm also happy to be more purpose specific when I know exactly what my subject's going to be and I can envision what that's going to look like with the images and the stories that I'm trying to tell. And some things that I've found really nice with the EOS R bodies has just been the ease of focus. I like to have mine set up so that I have back button focus, and I find that's really handy if I'm shooting people and a subject and someone just quickly walks into frame and I want to quickly shoot that. I just move my thumb over, it locks onto that eye of that person and nails the shot straight away. It's almost effortless, and those main focus modes are amazing as well. I can just set a zone, lock it on, hit the focus button that I want, and it will more or less choose what I want, and I can adjust that from the back of the camera super simply. Something that I think is Canon just nails, which massive reason why I started shooting with them back when I started, is the color science and the skin tones that you get from combining L series lenses with Canon sensor really just sort of makes that extra little pop to the images. I love being out there and shooting, but also when you put on the computer and you kind of dial in all the settings as you like them, and you can just see that real like satisfying pop that kind of gives you the image that you were really envisioning when you shot it. That's just another super satisfying part of the whole photography journey. Now, aside from the extra memory cards and odd things that you might expect in a regular camera bag, I also carry a audio recorder. This one's the Zoom H6. The reason I carry this is because when I'm shooting video and I want to put together the sound design for the project that I'm working on, it's so much easier to just take a couple of seconds where I am and just really hone in on the different sounds, whether it's the water lapping or birds in the trees, and I can just record that. And then when I get home and put all the footage on the computer, I also have my own little sound bank that I can work with rather than having to go and find different sounds online that work for it and license those. It's just nicer to have my own things that are really authentic to the location that I've just been shooting in. And on top of that, I have two more things. Massive battery pack, which I can use for anything, charging phones, charging microphones. It's just really handy having something that I know is going to be able to power my whole system if I need to. It's more just backups and backups. And last thing is a headlight, because sometimes you're working late into the night and you want to make sure you haven't left your gear or an expensive lens down somewhere, and it's nice to just be able to sweep the area, be able to walk back to the car park without losing your way. So one thing that I carry in my bag, which most people wouldn't expect me to have, is sunblock and snacks, because you never know if you're going to be hungry on a shoot or your stomach's rumbling during an interview. And also just we have very aggressive sun in New Zealand, so got to stay safe. Something else that's pretty easy to fit in but saves me on multiple shoots is just a variety of different tripod plates. Got different Manfrotto styles here that are all pretty universal for various tripods. I've had one time where I hiked all the way up this peak and there was the biggest aurora I've ever seen in my life happening that night. Hiked up, had both my bodies, tripods, things like that. Well, I left the tripod mounts in the car, and so I got up there and I had to handheld everything handhold shoot everything, which obviously wasn't going to work because it's in the dark and I'm shooting lots of moving lights in the sky. So ever since then, I've always made sure that I've got a variety of different tripod plates just in my bag, just in case I ever forget something again. I can always save the day by grabbing them out the side and mounting whatever ones I need. There has been one time where I'd luckily just got camera insurance for all my new gear that I'd got. I was shooting a elopement up on this mountain in New Zealand, and I was mixing photo and video. So I was shooting the photos, dropping it down, running over, grabbing my gimbal, and I put my gimbal down somewhere and turned around, and then I heard this kind of like rattling noise, and I turned around and my whole gimbal had fallen over and rolled down this mountain. So always important to keep two bodies on hand if you're doing important work. Lucky I was able to use the hybrid photo and video mode and finish up the shoot and worry about replacing my broken gear later. That definitely saved the day, having those backups in place. So one tip that I find is the most useful for me, which I use all the time when I'm shooting, especially in an outdoor environment where the light's always changing and the background and surroundings are always changing, is I actually just stick my hand up in front of my face and I will adjust my lens and just sort of focus on my hand. And that way I have a mixture of being able to see how the light bouncing on different parts of my hand is going to look against a background. It's a really good indication for skin tones of my subject if I'm shooting people or portraits. You can also see if there's any sort of like key lighting or anything around the edges of your hand, which are obviously going to be translated to your subject. Well, as you can see, the environment has changed completely. Imagine that I had to walk through dense bush like this for days on end. I obviously would need food and clothing and other things that I need for my own survival. I can't afford to take all my whole kit of camera gear with me. So I've just slimmed it down to the essentials, and this is going to be a part 2 of what I carry in my camera bag on a multi-day expedition. So first off, why do I use a normal backpack over a camera specific backpack that's designed to take more gear? Firstly, I'm an outdoor adventurer at heart first, so a lot of the gear that I'm using, I want it to be versatile, and I find that if my backpack that I'm used to carrying, there's a place for everything already, it's comfortable, it's fitted to my back, and it's still going to be designed to be in the environments that I'm going to be inserting myself, I just need to tackle the job of putting my camera inside it safely so that it doesn't get damaged. And it's just this foam lined bag, and I have very minimalist, my spare batteries, a variable ND filter in case I want to shoot video, my lightweight 35mm prime lens, and again, as I said earlier, the reason I'll choose something like this is because it's got that wide open aperture so that I have now got the versatility of being able to shoot early alpine starts, sunsets, into the dusk, astrophotography, video, auroras, things like that, and I'm not hindered by having the other lens, which is a bit more multi-purpose but not necessarily good at those darker scenes. Also just a great backup. And then simple, this right here is the R6 Mark II, and I've just got the mount for my capture clip here so I can attach it to my backpack while I'm hiking, and that's it. That's all I'll carry. So as you can see, my style of photography and what I do is might be very different to your own. It's what I love doing. Hopefully it's inspired you a little bit to think about some of the considerations gear-wise that you might be looking at getting in the future to kit out your camera bag. But this is the end of a 2-part series of what's in my camera bag, and I'll catch you in the outdoors. Perfect. I didn't press record. No, you definitely did.